Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the closing ceremony of the International Space University Space Studies Program 2018. My name is Omar Hatamli. I am the program director. SSP18 began 9 weeks ago with 135 participants entering behind the flags of their country under the model of the International Space Station at ESA ESTEC, a symbol of international collaboration. I'd like to begin this evening by again introducing those participants. The class of 2018, now unified by interdisciplinary, intercultural, and international summer of space by entering behind the ISU flag, which is carried by the SSP18 class representatives, Janina Halak and Caroline Chiran. I would now like to welcome the International Space University Space Studies Program class of 2018. By the way, this is actually the second highest SSP number of participants since ISU started in the late 80s. So this was actually the first space studies program to be hosted in the Netherlands, and it's the first time to be hosted by 3 different institutes. We had the Delft University of Technology, we have Leiden University, we had ISA ESTEC, and also NSO who helped us bring everything here. So they all proved to be excellent hosts this year. For the first time, we leveraged on the diversity, the location and the expertise that each one of these hosts provided to us, and we thank them for the support and help that they provided to us. 9 weeks ago, we were also welcomed by the King of the Netherlands himself at ISA ESTEC. Since then, SSP participants took advantage of the best in European research, engineering, technology, operations, and policy. This year's academic program consisted of about 56 core lectures, 52 elective workshops, 16 fundamental workshops, 105 department activities, and we had over 250 international lecturers coming from all over the world. Academic activities were carefully selected to showcase the range of space activities and the diversity of those engaged in them, including the 14 projects that we had this summer. The rest of the Netherlands also felt the presence of the International Space University. People drove from around the Netherlands to hear about our astronaut panels and our many evening events and lectures. The Space Studies program was also displayed on street banners in local newspapers, on the national radio and television. Our social media presence reached over 10 million individuals, spreading our excitement about rockets, satellites, new space, and cultural exchanges. Some of the most gratifying moments this summer actually resulted from interactions between SSP participants and a member of the local community, whose curiosity was piqued by the sizzling Summer of Space campaign. This amazing journey would have not been possible without the help of many organizations and individuals. I would like to take a minute to thank all of them. First, I would like to thank the Delft University of Technology, I would like to thank Leiden University, ISA ESTEC, and NSO. Thank you also to the chair of the local organizing committee, Dr. Gerard Blauw, whose tireless work over the past year and more has brought a powerful local space voice to our program. Thank you also to the rest of the committee members, and especially Remco Timmermans, ISU alumnus, for his help. I'd also like to thank our partners, starting with Delft, with the cities of Delft, Leiden, Noordwijk, and The Hague. Together with the region of Holland-Rijnland and the province of Zuid-Holland. Thank you also to the SSP18 program alliance partner, Airbus, and also thank you to the distinguished partner, Ariane Group, together with all the program supporters that helped us with this program. Special thank you also to the team product sponsors, Airbus, ESA, NASA, NSO, and Spire. And finally, thank you to our space agency sponsors, ESA, NASA, KINES, CAST, DLR, ISRO, and UK Space Agency. Now moving on, I would like to introduce our host in this beautiful building and university, Professor Karel Stoker. Professor Stoker is the Rector Magnificus and Chairman of the Executive Board of the Leiden University. He is a Professor of Private Law and Deputy Judge at the Court of Law of North Holland and Deputy Justice at the Court of Appeal. Please welcome Professor Karel Stoker.
Dear alumni, this was a spectacular entrance which you showed to me. Be careful with the building. Dates back to the Middle Ages, so be careful. But this is a spectacular view from here, so I'm pretty active on Twitter. So would you mind waving to me so that I can put you on Twitter? I think that's a good. Okay, be a little bit active. So, all right. Good. Oh yeah. Good. One more time. Even better. Well, thank you very much. Dear alumni, this is an important day for you. I would like to congratulate you all on graduating from the International Space University Space Studies program. You have survived 9 weeks of packed to the rim with everything related to space, and you may now call yourselves ISU alumni. Well done. And I am proud, as president and rector of this university, that my university has been part of the effort to bring this unique program to the Netherlands in close cooperation with our academic partner, Tim, sitting here in the front row, Tim van der Hagen, Technical University of Delft, with whom this university enjoys a long-standing cooperation, as well as ISA ESTEC and the Netherlands Space Office as an official host. There is a lot of space in Leiden. Its university, of course, is famous for its top-level astronomers. I know you've met one, Evine van Dishoek. Of course, there are many more, and that's already since the 17th century that this university was active in this field of science. But university, and as a lawyer, I would like to stress that, as our university also created the first ever professorial chair of space law, and it houses one of the only handful of institutes of space law in the world. And you have perhaps also seen and discovered other parts of Leiden and its university during your department activities, professional visits, or the elective workshops this summer. Events were hosted at our medical center, our campus The Hague, the historical sites, the old observatory, the law school, of course, and this very academy building where this university started back in 1575. The motto of the university is Presidium Libertatis, Bastion of Liberty, and it was interesting to notice that you have learned this summer that the concept of freedom also applies to outer space. There are no borders in space, no limits, and there is freedom of use and exploration as long as it serves the common good. So Leiden and space go well together, and it makes us wonder why it took 31 years for ISU to find us. The 4 cities associated to the program, Delft, Noordwijk, The Hague and Leiden, they have hosted many events this summer to celebrate the sizzling summer of space, a robot competition. In Delft, they're really good at robots there. An exclusive visit to the Peace Palace in The Hague, of course, a rocket lounge in Noordwijk. And in this context, Leiden University, my own university, they organized a special public outreach program named Leiden in Space. Many different aspects of space were highlighted to inspire children and families, and there are three different sites. One, of course, was Boerhaven, our science museum. The other one, the world-famous Leiden School for Instrument Makers, which prepares students to support space research and industry, and one of the alumni of this school will land a rover on the moon next year. And of course, the other side, the third site, was the old observatory, where a representative from the well-known innovation and social design lab, Studio Rozengaarde, explained how space inspires their work. These activities, which you have perhaps not all attended as you were working on your team projects, are very important to us, and they are a way to create a lasting impact of ISU's presence in the Netherlands as an inspiration for STEM education. Besides, STEM, of course, stands for science, technology, engineering, and math, but there is a call to add art and design to this equation, renaming it STEAM. So science, technology, engineering, math, and art and design, STEAM. And as a lawyer, I would suggest to add law as well, although I realize that a pretty unworkable acronym would then come out. So maybe we should leave it by STEM. Sorry for that. Quite emotional with my proposal. In closing, dear friends, dear alumni, I'd like to thank ISU ISU President Walter Peters and SSP Director Omar Hatamle and their teams for their trust in selecting the Netherlands as a host site and for holding a very successful SSP18 in our Netherlands space environment. And I also would extend to a warm thanks to all the members of the organizing committee, led by Gerard Blauw, who's also sitting in the front row here, for their efforts over the past years making this all happen. And dear alumni, let me end by expressing the hope and the trust that you, the class of 2018, will continue to follow your dreams and your inspiration and your passion for space, and that is strengthened by the tools and the know-how gathered this summer through ISU's 3I philosophy: international, interdisciplinary, and intercultural. And I think with these 3 I's, you have a wonderful, splendid career in front of you. Congratulations, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Stoker. So I would like now to invite Professor Tim Hagan, who is the professor or director of Magnificus of Delft University of Technology and also the president of the executive board. He was one of the instigators of the Delft Plan, published in 2015, which actually set out the TU Delft vision on how the Netherlands could play a leading role. Please welcome Professor Hagan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hatamle, and thank you, Karel, for your hospitality, because on the view of the, let's say, rather noisy entrance, I'm happy that we are in Leiden and not in Delft. Perhaps the earthquake sensors in Groningen detected something special half an hour ago. Good evening to all of you in this space community. And as part of the sizzling summer of space, TU Delft hosted an exhibition on food for Mars. It asked visitors the following question. It's a bit dark in this room, Karel, so I have to put on my glasses. Do we need to colonize space to survive as a species? Do we need to colonize space to survive as a species? And the answers were many and varied. I want to go to Mars, one simply said. And we need to, and we will, said another. But also, our place is Earth. Back to nature. Be sustainable. And even no. Because there is no Tinder out there. Actually, I think answering that question is not that urgent. After all, there is no doubt whatsoever that we do need space to survive as a planet, as a civilization. Our modern communication systems, and with it, our modern way of life, depend on it. Moreover, we need space to monitor the status of our own planet's environment. And in that last aspect, space is very much related to what we see as our mission at TU Delft, to create impact for a better society. Space can also be an epiphany. As we have heard from our very own Dutch astronauts, like Wubbe Ockels and André Kuipers, watching our planet from space changes your perspective forever. Seeing the Earth hanging like a small and fragile sphere in space made both Kuipers and Ockels staunch advocates of sustainability, of protecting that vulnerable and beautiful planet that we call home. So space can be a faraway destination, a medium or a vacuum for our satellites to orbit in, or a motivator, or even a means to satisfy our natural curiosity about our origins. In all these guises, space offers us fantastic opportunities for research, observation, exploration, and innovation. Over the past 9 weeks, you, participants in the ISU Space Studies program have immersed yourself in all of these aspects of space, from space law to robotics, and from astronomy to remote sensing. And we at TU Delft have been very proud to have you as our guests. We hope you have had the chance to fully experience what Delft and the Netherlands have to offer, both in the field of space sciences and engineering and as a travel destination. And also that you have expanded your horizon, broadened your network within the sector, and realized the scope of your opportunities. In short, that your summer has been a fruitful one. We were also very happy to join in the sizzling summer of space, and sizzling it was. The side event where we showed people outside of the space community what the world of space is all about. It was a great success, with events ranging from a special masterclass for politicians and policymakers to a wonderful LEGO Moon City in Delft City Hall. Another positive outcome of the past few months is that it has brought all partners in the Dutch space sector closer together. A result we can continue to build on in the coming years. Thank you for that. Now, before I finish, I would like to take the opportunity to thank some of the people who made this all possible. First of all, the International Space University and all of you, but most notably the SSP Director, Omar Hatamle. Thank you very much. Sorry, Carol, there's another crack in your bill. It has been an honor. That's typical for Leiden, no problem. It has been an honor to welcome you here as our guests. Thanks for choosing the Netherlands. Then our partners and friends of the local organizing committee, the Netherlands Space Office, the University of Leiden and ISA ESTEC. Yes. Next, all sponsors and partners who made the ISU SSP 2018 possible. And also all partners who organized the public outreach activities in Delft and in the region. For example, the City of Delft, Cinema Lumen, and many more. And finally, of course, you. All the ISU SSP 2018 participants. It has been a true pleasure having you here. And now that you have joined the international space community, I'm sure we will meet again, sometime, somewhere in the future. Finally, I hope you will all join us in our mission to create impact for a better society. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, our next speaker is Mr. Tom Crimmins. Actually, he's been, like I said, very long supporter from ISU. He was there since the beginning when the program was started in MIT. Currently, Tom actually holds several positions. The first one is Associate Administrator for Strategies and Plans. And also, he is the Acting Chief of Staff for the agency since April. Please help us welcome Tom Crimmins.
Long time no talk. I enjoyed our conversation, and I promise this will be even shorter because we don't have time for questions now, but hopefully we covered some good ground. Thank you all. Thank you for the organizers. Omar, another great year. I want to call out Walter Peters, your leadership with ISU. And thank you, Walter. It's been great working with you and continues to be. I know 9 weeks probably went by in a blink, and probably feels like you can't believe tomorrow you're going to be separating, going back into your lives before you started here. I wanted to go back to it's in the first page of the program handbook. I hadn't read this in probably, 30-something years, and it was the declaration that that Todd and Peter and Bob put out on ISU, and they declared that ISU is an institution founded on the vision of a peaceful, prosperous, and boundless future through the study, exploration, and development of space for the benefit of all humanity. And as you guys noticed, they were more hip. I read you guys the NASA enduring purpose. We were still on mankind back in 1958, so they went with humanity. And it ends with, today we shall aspire to the stars with wisdom, vision, and efforts. And boy, reading that with jet lag the other night, it brought it all back. It brought 40 years back. And so now as NASA enters its 60th year, it really echoed with the enduring purpose, constancy of purpose, and how important that is to have in your life and in society as a whole. So I think as much as we talked about all the things that changed in the last hour, an hour or so ago, the enduringness of the purpose behind ISU, the enduringness behind the purpose and the vision that hopefully you got enriched with, hopefully deepened while you were here, will continue to grow. I think you probably all had a purpose 9 weeks ago before you came here. Hopefully that's changed, deepened. And as you go back out, return home, I hope when you look back at this, you're not going to look back for what you can get out of or what you got out of ISU, but that it helps empower you to continue to look at what you can give and how you can give that forward. So I wish you all the best. I hope your vision and your efforts continue to align and grow as you move forward. Thank you.
And now I would like to introduce Siobhan O'neill. Siobhan actually is an alumna since from last year, from SSP18, and she's also a teaching associate this year. And we heard her singing one day, and we were completely shocked. We had no idea she sang that good. So we asked her to come in and give us a short musical interlude. So please welcome Siobhan O'neill. Okay, next, actually, I'm going to ask our participant liaison, or as we call her, PL1, to come and give a short talk on behalf of the staff. Please welcome Alexander Ryan.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alexandra Ryan, and I have the pleasure to be speaking to you on behalf of the staff of the International Space University's Space Studies Program of 2018. This year, I had the honour to be the participant liaison to 135 incredible, talented, hard-working individuals from 36 different countries who, over the last 9 weeks, have become 135 new friends. It's no secret that the SSP can be extremely busy, starting with lectures, then departments, workshops, visits to STech, Luxembourg, Bremen, and Cologne, although some of you not quite by choice. And, of course, your team projects. I hope you remember the camaraderie and the exhilaration of submission and not so much the last-minute 3 a.m. editing changes. I know I speak on behalf of all the staff when I say that we were incredibly impressed with the level of work in this year's team projects. All of you worked together to produce 4 incredible documents and 4 amazing presentations. We laughed along and learnt so much, and you should be extremely proud of what you have accomplished. One of the 3 I's of ISU is intercultural, and we found out about all the amazing customs and different countries during our culture nights, which were one of my favourite parts of the program. Delicious food, canoes from Canada, memes from Romania. It was just such fun. During talent night, we found about all those hidden talents, such as singing, cooking, dancing, and interestingly enough, tattooing. The staff here at ISU, we work extremely hard. Some take time off work, some take unpaid leave just to come to be here in the Netherlands with you. And we hope you enjoyed yourselves. Everyone here is united through their passion for space, and we will miss you all very much. I hope that you will keep in touch with each other and remember your experience of ISU fondly. And here we are now at the closing ceremony, the end of this program. All of you will continue on to your amazing journeys, safe in the knowledge that you have friends all across the globe. I will miss each and every one of you, and you're a big part of this new space family. However, I would not be doing my job if I didn't give you one last reminder. Don't forget your passports.
Okay, and next I would like to introduce our president, Professor Walter Peters.
Dear guests, thank you for being here. When I saw how far I was in the program, I was sure that everybody was already being congratulated, so I can only echo what Omar said. Thanks to all of you. I'm not going to relist all the names. You are all magnificent. You have really been helpful beyond our expectations. So I hope that with that you allow me and ask your permission to address these young people more than repeating what has been said before. My surprise was when I lived a few years in Holland, by the way. So I saw that the local organizing committee, for which, by the way, my thanks, Gerard, were calling this a sizzling summer. Now, I had a few wet summers here, so I thought, what are they trying to sell to these youngsters that it will be warm this summer? But I must admit they were right, and I have never understood how they made it. Only yesterday it became clear to me. Yesterday, during one of the TP presentations on weather, we saw the effect of the pirates. And that made me think last night, that's the trick that they used, pirates. You know that in the 16th and 17th century, I would not call it pirates, because our professor in law will, will blame me. Let's say that we had buccaneers, which I would say call them pirates with license. So that means they had a license to attack certain ships from certain countries. I heard yesterday during the TP presentation that some of you call it business people. But that is not true. We're talking about, we're not talking about business people, we're talking about buccaneers. There were famous ones in all the countries. For the French, you maybe know Jean Bart, the French were there. Francis Drake for the UK people and for most of them. But one that I now realize where the local organizing committee helped us was a certain Mr. Piet Hein. And Piet Hein was born in Delft and is even buried in Delft at this moment in the church. There was a famous song which I still remember as a child about Piet Hein of the Silver Fleet, because at a certain moment he managed to capture, I'm very sorry for that, Omar, for a Spanish fleet, so don't take it personal, which had a lot of little silver coins on board, which was a nice treasure for Holland. By the way, they would call that now crowdfunding, but that's also a bit of a stretching of the English language, I think. So then I understood why you had such a nice weather. The local organizing committee used their pirate connections. So Piet Hein, very famous, do not make a wrong link. You know that in many countries, sometimes some drinks are associated. So for instance, the Russian word for water is voda. I don't know if you know that. So if you say vodka, it means little water in Russian. So don't think that Little Hein is Heineken. That is not true. There is no relation to that. Just to be 100% sure. By the way, at this moment, I was wondering, I've never asked myself the question, so this is the right moment. Did you pick up some Dutch? Yes, you did? So, okay, let me test it. So we're talking about Heineken. Yeah, somebody said lekker. But I'm not so sure if that was related to Heineken. So how do you say at your health in Dutch? Come on. Proost? Prosit? Proost, yeah? Okay. Were a few of you silent, but not bad. A little bit more difficult. We all talk about the Netherlands. How do you say the Netherlands in Dutch? Very good. So you see, intercultural, they made it. Now, yesterday, after we had the feedback session, I have shared that also with a number of my colleagues. Some of you were asking about the meaning and what was really important of a TP. I think you underestimated at the moment. We have learned over the years that in a lot of cases, the topic of a TP somewhere modified and became a real project. It's the same thing like, for instance, a few years ago, I don't know, and if you're interested in that, I can really recommend that. ISA, ESTEC, made a study about the relation between science fiction and space. And it's very interesting that a number of scientists were writing science fiction books on things which they could not prove yet, but they intuitively thought is going to happen. And if you really extrapolate that, a lot of things were already written in science fiction books, which afterwards became reality. In fact, our first chancellor of this university, which is Arthur C. Clarke, did a good and a bad thing. The good thing was that he thought about the geostationary orbit in one of his early books, very early books. The bad thing, and I'm again thinking about the place where we are and Tanya and so on. The bad thing is he forgot to patent it. So he would have been a very rich man at this moment, but that he didn't do. So so you see there, and we followed that over the last few years, and that brought us to the idea, together with our friends from Strasbourg, represented here by Nicolas Matt, that we have to help more and more the students to develop their skills and give them a little bit of a push. So what a little thing which we did is that the students from the second year master, they can also stay here at ISU and develop their thought. We help them a little bit financially. We are now also have made an agreement with ESA on a BIC, which is a business incubator center, which we will host in ISU. And with the help again from our partners, our local partners, we also got a label for a booster. A booster, for those who don't know, is like a startup company, and you bring it up to a level where it is really already a serious company. So we are preparing ourselves. We are delaying it a little bit because we want to first do the SSP18 in the building of Strasbourg. Afterwards, there is a lot of place becoming available, and with the financial help and the moral help, I may say, from Nicolas Matt and his team and the people in Strasbourg, we will build it out, and there as you said this morning, I'm sure that this will help to have a number of these very brilliant, creative people starting their business, like you gave a very impressive list this morning of people who started very simple with an idea and brought that to companies like Rocket, to give an example. So next year you will be more than welcome. I hope a lot of you come. There are two main possibilities. First of all, there's the Alumni Weekend. I hope a number of you find a way to Strasbourg then. And there is, of course, also the opportunity, has been presented by a number of people, to be a TA. So I hope also there a lot of you will come as a TA, which is teaching associate to our university. You will be received, I will probably be still around, but you will be received by a very, very competent successor of me, Juan de Dalmau, who will be who will follow me after being 7 years. I don't think 7 is a religious year, but after 7 years as president, I think it's time that we go over to a younger generation, and Juan, I'm absolutely sure, will do a fantastic job. It has been told already, it has been mentioned already, we will see some of you next year, some of you we may not see, maybe later in another IAF or something like that, but take that one thing away that you got here from this team project, and which maybe you're not fully appreciating yet. You have been able to work together with 36 nationalities and to learn in 9 weeks how to work together with 36 nationalities. Our generation, myself and my colleagues here, it took me 20 years of mistakes, which you learned in 9 weeks. That is the treasure that I want you to really take with you at home tonight. Thank you very much.
Okay. So the Morna Milne Award is given annually to the Space Studies Program participant that holds the highest academic average in the class. That name actually is in honor of the SSP alumna and longtime SSP academic coordinator, Morna Milne. The recipient of this award will have their name added to the plaque that resides permanently at the central campus at the International Space University in Strasbourg, France. And the SSP18 Morna Milne Award this year will go to Tom Bynum. Tom Bynum. Next, I would like to introduce Deepika Jayakodi to deliver the SSP18 guest speaker address.
Never have I felt so much pressure before giving a speech. And imagining naked people in the audience doesn't help either. It's just extremely awkward. Good evening, everyone. Congratulations to all of us for making it here today. We have managed to ride the infamous Dutch bike without the handbrakes. We have overcome death by PowerPoint. We are now past early morning alarms and deadlines. We have survived TP. And last but not the least, we've realized that we are one of the best SSP classes ever. On behalf of everyone in my class, I thank the ISU staff, the local organizers, the hosts, sponsors, lecturers, our families, friends, and colleagues, and more importantly, the people at the sports bar at TU Delft. Who have all supported this amazing journey for us in the last 2 months. And now, to my lovelies, I promise to make my speech, our speech. So last evening, when I had the choice to going back to my dorms and writing a speech, or staying out with you guys, I chose the latter, hoping that you would help me out. And many of you gave me tips. And from an engineering perspective, I'm talking in terms of a mindset, it was pretty useless, right? So Andre had already introduced our memes, which helped us survive a lot of tough times. Lee and Shen had shared an incredible story with us. Meena had already charmed us all. Lucas had already played Pink Fluffy Unicorn several times. So, #thanks, but no thanks. But with these tips, from a humanities perspective, thanks to Ruth, there was a lot to work with, and there was one thing that touched everyone. It was the relationships we had built with each other in this short time. So I went back to my room and started scrolling through all the pictures that I had taken since the start of SSP. What can I say? We have come a long way since the first moments we had as strangers in Building 26. Unlike some of the speakers here, I have the privilege to address you not as participants, but as friends. And regardless of our differences in terms of language, culture, profession, nationality, we have grown together in these 2 months, forging a strong bond. It was okay to be seen in pajamas and unkempt hair, say stupid things, dance like baboons at cultural night, have no shame, stress each other out, complain a lot, and at the same time care for each other, also effortlessly and comfortably, just like any other family. It will be very strange in the next few days to not see each other's faces and passionately work on something together. We will miss everything, even the things that we complained about. Passports. But I will not worry about it too much. We have the fabulous Yanni and Carolina here to organize the most amazing parties for us in the future. Even otherwise, I hope we will take our friendship beyond this summer. For those with whom we haven't spent enough time, we still have the future. And talking about the future, we are all together in that we have many unanswered questions. And no matter what paths we choose, what choices we make, there is something that I want you to take with you today. So William Shakespeare and Channing Tatum once said, it is true, you can fact check that. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. Anyone can be born great or have greatness thrust upon them. To achieve greatness is what we must aspire for. And despite all the failures we will have and all the mistakes we will make, we can achieve this greatness. As the young space generation, we can do our best to see space not as a conquest that has to be won, but as our next home, where we can be better than what we are here today. And I fully believe that each of you has the ability to positively influence that. Thanks to Scott for this tip. This was really useful. That's greatness. And on a personal level, this greatness will not be measured by money or recognition we earn. It is to leave for those with whom we cross paths just a little bit more happiness and hope. You have all done that in some way these last 2 months. Each one of us and the relationships that we have built here, that is more valuable than everything that we've learned at SSP. You are all great in my eyes. Thank you for being you. I love you all. That includes you, Barrett. And class of 2018, thank you for a hashtag sizzling summer of space.
Without our local host, led by Dr. Nico van Putten, this SSP would not have been possible. I'd now like to call 8 of them to the stage for a special gift. I would like to start with Gerard Brau, Daniel Masson, Peter van Biekhausen, Nico van Putten, Daniel van Biekhausen, Remco Timmermans, Stuart Werner, Ineke Bonenchester,
Sorry, Omar, although it's not in the protocol, I take 2 minutes to thank you for this wording. You saw 8 persons as a face today for all the work we did as local organizing committee. But please be sure that there are much, much more persons in the local organizing committee, host team, in the city's organization, and many, many more. So from my perspective, I also want to have a big hand for all those others and thanking them all for the work. It really has been a long journey. It is, I think, about 6 years ago that we did a very small feasibility study, what SSP is and what the requirements are, what the logistic requirements are, how much money is involved, and all those questions. The important message at that time was there were really no-go points. So at that moment in time, the Netherlands Space Office decided to go on and starting the process of the bid book, etc. And 6 years ago looks very long ago. It is long ago. But what also looks very long ago is the welcome we had at the first weekend in Noordwijk, when we had the welcome brunch in Huis ter Duin, when I spoke to you, the first word, welcome, at that moment, and we had the day after the opening ceremony. Now, at this moment in time, we have the closing ceremony and almost a very much farewell. And not yet at this very moment, but in some hours it will be so far. It will be a very good memory for us to have you here in the Netherlands. It has been a lot of work for the local organizing committee, for sure. Some tasks given to us were very small, some others were some bigger, and some others took such a lot of time. But what was very good was that you, as participants, were so enthusiastic and gave a lot of rewards to us that we could go on and on and on. I want to thank you for all the energy you gave to us, and it's a promise for the next space generation. Thank you so much.
The 32nd Annual Space Studies Program in 2019 session will convene at ISU Central Campus in Strasbourg, France, from 24th of June until August 23rd, 2019. The program will be hosted by ISU and Eurometropole of Strasbourg. I would like now to introduce Dr. Nicolas Matt, who is the Vice President of Strasbourg Eurometropole in charge of developing economy, innovation, and education and research. He is also the Deputy Mayor of Strasbourg since 2018, and also since 2014 has been an Administrator of Strasbourg University. Please help me welcome Dr. Matt.
So, good evening. First of all, it's a pleasure for me to thank all the organizers of this fantastic SSP session and all the participants. And of course, tonight I hope that the people that will be participating in the next session in Strasbourg will have as much fun and as much good science and good lectures about space that you had here in the Netherlands. So it will be my pleasure to welcome then the participants and this new SSP session in Strasbourg. And this will be a special occasion because it will be the sixth session of the SSP in Strasbourg, and we will here celebrate the 30th anniversary of the first SSP session of the ISU in Strasbourg in 1989. And this session was a really special one because the whole city of Strasbourg just fell in love with space and fell in love with the ISU. And from this moment, it was more or less decided that that Strasbourg will host the ISU. And from this love story, two new babies come up. The ESA Big Incubation Center and the CNES Booster that we are now hosting in Strasbourg, and I'm really looking forward to see how these babies will grow up and how you will be able to participate in this story. So now we will project you a really short movie about Strasbourg to motivate you to be perhaps TAE in the next session. And so, please. So as now the French flag is coming, so no wine, no cheese. So as you have seen, we are not only Euro optimists, we are also space optimists. So most of you and all of you are mostly welcome in Strasbourg in the near future. Thank you for your attention.
Next, I would like to introduce our Space Studies Program External Relations Manager and Head of Business Development at ISU, Geraldine Moser, to give us an overview about the social media activities throughout the program this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, the motto or mantra for SSP18 is, as you all know, enlarge your universe. This hashtag was knitted in tight collaboration by ISU and the local organizing committee several months before the start of the SSP. It first served as a teaser, slowly getting its name out there. Here it is. It gained in notoriety and hit, as of today, 10 million reaches. Of course, I could carry on dazzling you with 8-digit figures. However, in my opinion, what is really important is the visibility that you individuals get, amongst others, from this hashtag. Thanks to His Majesty, the King of the Netherlands, one of your classmates, Janina Halak, collected through a picture of her and His Majesty, posted on LinkedIn, 9,000 likes. 9,000 likes, it's huge. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, thanks to ISU and NSO and the local hosts. One of the common goals of the local communication team, comprised also of representatives of the city of Delft, Leiden, Norway and The Hague, and the region of South Holland, and ISU's external relations team, is to bring space down to earth, to the local people, the Dutch population. And this was achieved partially through the series of public events that ISU scheduled, and especially through the Sizzling Summer of Space campaign, a program full of exciting space activities involving STEM that attracted thousands of school kids, family, space enthusiasts, movie lovers, politicians, policymakers, poets, students and alumni of TU Delft and the University of Leiden from May till now. More than 800 people from the local community attended Professor Jeff Hoffman's lecture about the Hubble telescope. In a country with a strong space culture and regular, abundant science and space news, the SSP and Sizzling Summer of Space campaign stood out and reaped the benefits of some work started 2 years ago. No less than 30 articles have been published in national Dutch press, including Delftse Post, The Telegraph, amongst others. And several radio interviews were given by you. Thomas Weinen had to get up early several times to answer to journalists. This is just another experience that you get from an SSP. ISU focused on international press, and thanks to your support and contacts, the SSP was covered for the first time in countries like Argentina, Greece, Lithuania. British TV, the BBC, and Turkish TV, TRT, who are present tonight, are also broadcasting the SSP story. An incredible number of videos were produced over the summer. More than 30 by ISU's media producer alone. Check them out on ISU's YouTube channel. Further professional ones were done for the opening ceremony and the Volvo Ocean Race, another once-in-a-lifetime opportunity offered by the LOC. During your orientation 9 weeks ago, I told you that ISU is a brand, that it carries values, values that you are now the guardian of. You are now an ISU ambassador. Outreach doesn't just stop at the end of this SSP. You will soon be presenting your team projects or talk to your schools and employers about your SSP experience. Make sure the hashtags SSP18 and Enlarge Your Universe, over here, live on. Wear your alumni pin. Mention your ISU affiliation on your biographies, your LinkedIn profiles. Join associations like Women in Aerospace. There's a Woman in Aerospace ISU, for example. Use your email address, which you now have for life and which will no doubt enlarge your universe. We expect to see you at the alumni gathering of the International Astronautical Congress, which will take place on Wednesday, 3rd of October 2018 in Bremen, Germany. We have also already started working on a program for next year's alumni conference. The SSP class of 1994 will be celebrating its 25th anniversary. Come and join Rob Postema and his classmates in July 2019. And let's beat this year's number of participants, i.e. a record of 160 alumni. And remember, you can live this SSP18 experience all over again, from a slightly different perspective, by being a staff member. ISU, external relations in particular, are looking forward to your application for SSP19. So before we think about tomorrow, let's rewind back a few weeks. SSP18 contains myriads of special moments. I have the pleasure to introduce a visual memoir reflecting back on SSP, produced by ISU alumnus and SSP18 media producer Shripati Hadigale.
The Space Studies program is your space mission for this summer. Like a mission crew going to orbit, you will need to work hard together and appreciate individual skills everyone brings. You will face a new environment with exciting new opportunities. By the end of this journey, I hope you will have discovered new things about space and about yourselves. Please join me in welcoming the International Space University, the Space Studies program class of 2018. Essentially, we have people can learn about all disciplines, all facets of knowledge. You learn about the holistic approach into space. It's not only one topic or the other. So for that, we start with core lectures. We had about 54 core lectures that people were engaged in, and we got a basic knowledge about all these disciplines. And then the participant, they choose one of 7 departments to gain actually more details about what they like. So collectively, with these two, gives them a different dimension of knowledge that's difficult to find somewhere else. And we complement all that stuff with professional visits, with tens and tens of workshops, and we close it with a team project.
So I've been teaching at ISU for over 25 years. The one thing that remains constant is how amazing the participants are. When I meet up with the participants every year, it constantly amazes me how much enthusiasm they have for doing good things in space. And we're seeing more and more now as ISU people go out into the working world and they're rising up the ranks of their companies and their space agencies. They're making a real difference in what's going on in space.
Well, I think SSP is unique because actually something that Bob Richards used to say when he would come and open or give a speech always resonated with me, that ISU is meant to be a beacon. It's meant to draw people who feel the same way about space and exploration development. And so it does a really good job of that. And so you get a group of people, a very concentrated group of people together at the SSP for 9 weeks who all have similar goals. It's just magical.
I can say that this is definitely something that I'm going to remember for a lot of years. So, no regrets, and it is one of the best things you can experience.
Being at ISU, being at SSP, the way it's constructed, the way you get connected with people from all different backgrounds and cultures, the way you get to experience it is, I've never seen it anywhere before, so I'm very happy to be here.
The most special thing at SSP, there's no hierarchy. You can go and talk easily with participants and also space experts. The bond we share is so special, unique, and different.
The favorite part is people.
Oh, definitely the people.
So I have seen this incredible enthusiasm also when the people come, to these summer courses, but also of course to their master courses. They are getting a really, really tight family.
Today I feel very glad and a little sad. The reason why I feel glad is we meet each other here, we know each other here, we worked with each other here, and we become the friend with each other here. And the reason why I feel a little sad is because we will separate this weekend. We will come back to our countries to work, to study, but I think the friendship between us will last forever.
What the participants have learned throughout the course of the program will provide them with the tools and capabilities to confront and conquer the challenges the future will present. Throughout the program, they encountered many challenges, but once they get back to their countries, their homes, and work, they will reflect on the unique opportunity they experienced this summer.
And now, for the last time this summer, I would like to invite the SSP Director, Dr. Omar Hatamle, for final remarks.
So now, after so many events, lectures, meetings, it's time to conclude the program. This summer, you took a challenge to become more accomplished and more experienced. Each one of you has his own highlight to look back on, your own discoveries about yourselves and about the world of space that is your passion. But together, we have shared long nights, many memes, many laughter, and lifelong memories. The Netherlands promised you a sizzling summer of space and delivered the second hottest summer since 1901. Looking backward, we should have asked to promise the mild summer of space, because that was way too hot. Today is a sad day because our summer together is coming to an end. However, many things will continue. Friendships that have been formed over the summer will continue to grow stronger. We will carry forward with our friendships and trust we have built together, and the inspiration to do a better job every day, wherever we are in the world. All the strangers you met in Building 26 9 weeks ago are now some of your best friends to move forward. You are ready to take on new challenges, and we're very proud and happy to welcome you as part of the ISU family. Congratulations to all of you. Before we officially close this program, I would like to acknowledge and ask some people to come over to the podium. They actually deserve most of the credit for the success of this program this year. I'm going to start with Professor Walter Peters for his leadership and dedication. You can stand here, please. I would like to ask G2 and Sebastian for the thousands and thousands of hours you put into this program here. Next, I would like to ask the logistics and academic assistants to come over here as well. all the members of the IT, Alex and Thea, external relations, Shreya, our accountant, and all the TAs and the rest of the staff from this part of the year. So these are the people actually that made the program successful. Without them, there has nothing been possible. So one more time, let's give them a round of applause. And with that, I officially close the Space Studies Program 18, the 31st Space Studies Program at the International Space University. Thank you for joining us to celebrate this special journey. Good night.